Go right into it here. Women's golf starts their spring season this week down in Louisiana in Monroe. They will be competing in the Great River Cup today and tomorrow. Get an update on that next time. But they have 5 events this spring leading up to the ASUN Championships in April. Men's golf, they started their spring schedule last week with a trip down to Montgomery, Texas. The Bears finished in 3rd place, shooting even par on rounds 2 and 3. Bogdan Sandorini shot 3 under for the tournament, placing 2nd overall. Sam Norton shot even par, tying for 4th place overall. The Bears will be back on the course February 23rd down in New Orleans, Louisiana. Men's and women's indoor track. 4 athletes qualified for and competed in the Tyson Invitational in Fayetteville last weekend. Bailey Villavaso claimed 2nd in the women's pole vault with a 4.15 meter vault, breaking her own school record. And then Jack Dingman ran at the David Hermie Valentine Invitational in Boston, and he broke his own school record in the mile with a 4-minute, 1 second, .73. And then both teams will be back in action next weekend, February 27th and 28th, and that's the ASUN Championships. Yes, sir.
Already jumping in here. The young man that wrote the article about Bailey Villavaso.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Thank him for putting feet in there instead of just meters.
That's Cole. Cole does a great job for us. He's one of our GAs. I'll let him know.
So I could know how high he jumped.
4.15 meters doesn't calculate.
No.
Let's see here. Where am I at? Stunt. Stunt started off their season going 1-3 in Springfield, falling to UT Martin and Missouri State last Friday. And then they beat Missouri Valley on Saturday, as well as losing a match to Missouri State on Saturday. This week they are playing again in competition in Dallas. They'll play Cal Poly, Oklahoma Baptist, Arizona Christian, and then Missouri State again. Softball is off to a good start at 5-4. Bears went 2-2 this past weekend, losing to Radford and Troy on Friday, and then beating IU, Indy, and Radford on Saturday. Their last game of the series that was scheduled for Sunday was rained out. This week, they're Bears, sorry. The Bears are at home in Natalie Schock Stadium for a game on Wednesday night, and then 2 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, and then another one on Sunday. So a big weekend of softball. Baseball, the Bears were in Louisiana for a 4-game series to start their season this past weekend. Bears dropped game 1, but then won games 2 and 3 before losing the final game of that series yesterday afternoon. Bears will open their home schedule this weekend, playing a 4-game series against Northwestern State, starting on Friday at 4 p.m. And then they'll have a doubleheader on Saturday, and then play one more on Sunday. First pitch for the one on Sunday is 1 p.m. All right, now we got coaches here. Women's basketball, Sugar Bears are on a 5-game winning streak, moving their overall record to 16-10 and their ASUN record to 9-5. They're now sitting in a tie for 3rd place, 1 game out of 2nd place. Their win last Thursday was against previously unbeaten Eastern Kentucky, who's sitting in 1st place. This week, the Sugar Bears are at home on Wednesday versus Austin Peay. Tip-off for that one is at 6:30. Then they'll be on the road for a matchup with West Georgia, which is one of the teams that they are tied with in 3rd place. On Saturday, tip-off for that one is at 1 p.m. Now let's hear from head coach Tony Kemper. Get the records right this time?
You're all over it. Yeah, so our team's playing well, rounded into form for sure. Over the last 5, I think, just been a lot more stable and consistent with what we're getting to watch. I think it's definitely, I might have said this 2 weeks ago when I was here, trying to get them to really focus on the defensive end, I think has been helpful for us. We've put together a string of, we're 5 straight games where we've held the other team under 50. And, you're just going to have a chance to win a lot of those games if people aren't scoring. So, I think our offense has stayed relatively similar, and that's typical. Some nights you make shots and some nights you don't. Defense travels pretty well. And so been really proud of, I think maybe trying to push buttons with them. And then I think they've definitely responded with better play. So happy with where kind of it looks like that we're headed. So coming into really important games, the last 4, as Jeremy said, our league's very tight. It's kind of Eastern Kentucky has separated, and then it's just a big mess in the middle. We're right in the middle of that. We're actually a lot of the tiebreakers we have right now, if they're complicated tiebreakers, because our net is actually the best in the league. So we I'll be the first to tell you, and you can probably tell by my body language, that I feel like we've dropped some games I didn't want to drop. But the metrics say that our team has been good all year. I think going into the Eastern Kentucky game, they were in the 105 range and we were in the 110 range, and then when we beat them, it basically just flipped it. So a lot of those, like if you see the tiebreaker and you see us on top, that's why, as our net is the highest in the league. So I think we're in a good place. We got 2 weeks left where we got to press the gas and get down to Jacksonville and hopefully make some hay down there. So, questions?
You don't need a bye.
You got to be in the top 4 to get a bye. So, I don't know the men's tournament. The women's there's a day in between every game. So, really most of these tournaments, mathematically, you have to get a bye to win. Like, it's really hard over time to win one if you don't have a bye. But the way ours is set up, I don't know about that. Like, you have a day in between, so the reason why you need a bye is back-to-back games. But if you're playing 4 games over the stretch of 7 days, that's not that bad. I mean, we just went through 5 in like 10, and that's the 5 we just won. So there's enough in between there of prep work and stuff like that I want to get a bye, mostly because that means we're continuing to play well. And the group that we have, I think, they have the same mood as me, as far as we feel like we haven't been as consistent as we've wanted to be from the jump. And we feel like we're talented enough to make some noise. And so when we've been up and down, I think it's disappointed them. So we need to get a bye just because I think we'll be feeling good about the way we're playing. But it's going to take, we got to continue to play well to get one, Yeah.
With the tournament the way it is, you have a lot of dead time between games.
I wouldn't call it a lot, but a day in between is a lot for the tournament. I mean, that's, it's.
What's the secret to kind of keep them honed in? I mean, you're
Yeah, it's. I think by this time in the year, and just one of the things that I try to do is really remain consistent. Like, they probably could tell you, if you just asked them what's Wednesday's practice going to look like, if they were smart enough to go, when do we play next? Then they could sort of count backwards and be like, we're probably going to do this and this and this, and that would be right. So I don't know how much practice time we get. You probably don't get a lot of practice time on the main court, so you're probably at some high school somewhere practicing. Actually, we might use Jacksonville in North Florida without me getting into the weeds of the book. But usually you have like an hour-long practice. We walk through a lot in the hotels. Really interesting thing is that all the men's teams and all the women's teams, from what I understand, are staying in the same hotel. That's very interesting from a prep point of view, because usually you're not. So usually if you go out and walk through stuff in the parking lot, if you're playing West Georgia, they're nowhere to be found. But there's going to be a lot of coaches there. There's going to be a lot of people wanting the walk-through rooms, and privacy will be a little less. Then usually you're kind of spread out, like 3 teams are here, and they usually split them up as far as maybe it's us with somebody on the other side of the bracket and a men's team, so it doesn't matter. So that'll be interesting to watch how there'll be some Connor Stallions, if you know who that is, out there running around trying to figure out what everybody's doing. But I like the way the tournament sets up. I think the group we've had has prepped really well. I don't think I'll feel like you can't get them prepared for the team you're playing, but I think everybody else will probably feel the same way, you know. So, anything else? Yeah.
So, the finals, it's just, the finals are on a Monday night at 5 o'clock.
I'd love to be there.
And I plan on being there. But, so is selection Sunday the following Sunday, or?
Yes.
I have no idea. I mean, I don't know.
I couldn't figure
I
out
see
why.
this far in front of my nose, man. Yeah. So we have an early tournament now.
Yes,
We used to have a late tournament. The men used to be super early, and the women were a week after. So I think we played the championship game last year, maybe on Saturday, and then Sunday was the selection show. So now we're a week ahead of that.
week ahead.
Yeah, we're basically on the same schedule as the men. We're just playing on opposite days for a while. It may get the same day late. Does it get the same day? It's always opposite. Okay. So we have a week in between. That'll be a long week. I mean, you know, a year ago we played in the WNIT, and there was like 10 days between when we were done and when we played, or felt like 10. Maybe it was only 7. But I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully we have that problem. Figure out what to do with them.
Absolutely.
Anything else? Thank you.
Beach volleyball. Beach volleyball gets their season started this week, traveling up to Ozark, Missouri, to take on Eastern Illinois on Friday, and then Lindenwood and Missouri State on Saturday. This is the first of 7 tournaments the team will compete in leading up to the ASUN Championships in late April. Let's hear from head coach Avery Thibodeaux. There you go.
All right, yeah, it's been a while since we've been here. Thankfully, we've had some great weather the last couple of weeks. Honestly, compared to last year, we've had probably 10 more practices outside than we did last year, so that's a big plus. Going back to last year, we had 4 more wins than the previous year, so in year 1, definitely an improvement there. And with that, we had a very difficult schedule last year, both in competition and the way it was set up travel-wise. So our season is 9 weeks long. You'll play 7 of those weekends typically on the road, 1 of those at home, and then a bye week somewhere. Well, last year it was we played 4 weeks in a row bus trip, then we flew 3 weekends in a row, so we played 7 straight weeks on the road, then had our home tournament, then had our week off for the conference tournament. So there were some wins last year I think we probably could have got if the schedule was set up a little bit better in that way. So that was something I did a lot with our scheduling this year. So we have a very young team. We have, of our 18 girls, 12 of them have a year or less of beach volleyball college experience. So definitely a lot of, growing pains may come this season. But, I sat in here last year and listened to Coach Shulman and everything that those guys went through with a bunch of freshmen playing. And I think that's something that our team's going to learn from this year and make us a lot better next year. So, just a really solid group that we have, though. But it's a really great team. There is nobody on the team that I'm like, oh, I wish that person was gone, or oh, I wish that person might be sick today. It's like I enjoy all 18 of them coming to practice every day. And they all enjoy it too. I said that's what I think makes our team really great this year. Last year I think we maybe had a couple more talented players, but also said there were some of those days where just everybody wasn't all on the same page. So I think that's definitely going to help our team this year. And then these first 2 weeks we'll be playing up in Ozark, Missouri. So there's an domed facility up there. They have 10 courts inside a giant bubble, basically. And the reason why I chose that tournament is they have extra courts there for all of our girls to get some extra exhibition going. So some tournaments only have 3 courts, or they only have 6 courts, and you just have matches going on all of those, so you can't get all of your girls' games. So that's why I was very specific in picking this, and making sure we just get the best possible conditions. It's inside, so no worrying about, like last year we went down to Houston and it was 40 degrees and raining. So starting off the year too, where it said those young girls aren't put in maybe a difficult position, weather-wise and stuff like that, where we can really kind of just get the ball going and said have a really solid team with a lot of experience next year. So I definitely foresee us hopefully beating last year's win total as well. And again, just another step in that growth point. And I love coming to these and hearing from other coaches, because I think, Coach Shulman, John, his team, the way they've been building the last couple of years, Josie with track, I think our team is on a similar trajectory. So super excited about our team this year, and hopefully, going to go get 4 wins this weekend in Missouri State. Any questions?
Going to new conference next year, how do teams match up in that new conference?
So for us, we are one of the 2 sports that's not switching conferences yet, because you have to have 6 teams to get a bid to the NCAA tournament. So right now there's 4 of us and 4 that are staying ASUN for other sports and 4 that would be leaving, so that we still keep our bid. We'll still be down there. So we have Florida Gulf Coast, North Florida, and Stetson are all ranked in the top 15 going into the season. So we have 3 nationally ranked teams like up there in our conference. So definitely challenges us. Eventually, I think we may get to a point where we split off, but right now we'll be one of the sports staying in the ASUN.
I noticed on your roster, you've got several girls 5'7" and under. Newberry doesn't like anybody under 6 feet.
17.
Is that for 6.5? Is there a difference in the beat that you've allowed more, that's not as big a deal to have shorter?
Yeah, so typically in beach volleyball, you'll have like one big girl, one small girl kind of paired up together, one blocker defender. That is one thing, though, with our team that I have not come in and I'm not gutting the roster and just kind of waiting for girls to graduate. Kind of compare it to another sport. It's like we have a bunch of second basemen that hit right-handed on the team right now, and you don't have room for all of them on the team. So, there's a lot of position battles going on in that 4s and 5s pair with our team because we have a lot of girls that kind of fit in that range. And I think our team in the next couple of years will have a little bit more size. Like this year, we've already got 6 6-footers, where last year we only had 4, and the year before that there was 2. So we are getting bigger in that aspect. But yeah, we'll have some small pair with big, and it's really just, hey, how quick can you get out of the sand and be successful there. So that's something with our team too. Is that over the years, that as some of the girls graduate, bringing in more shortstops instead of a bunch more second basemen to have. So.
These different venues you go to play, is the court, the sand pretty consistent everywhere you go, or do you see differences in how they do it?
It all just depends on kind of where it is. So like in Florida, a couple more of those schools will like play on the beach, and the sand can be really, it feels like not hard court, but it's very bouncy. Like you said, you don't dig in as much. But there are some places like LSU, it's very, very deep sand. So you literally feel like you're walking in quicksand out there. And then like up in, University of Washington, they play on a beach that's black sand basically. So yeah, it'll be different from place to place, kind of where you are, but not too different. And like I said, if there is a place that maybe has a little bit different, that's why we always travel down there a day early and get some extra, practice reps, on that, type of surface. What else? All right, well, go Bears, go Sugar Bears.
So it's beach volleyball and men's soccer that will stay ASUN next year, and everybody else will be in the UAC. Moving on to football here. Coach Brown and his staff have been busy reloading the roster for next year. His recruiting class ended up being 42 new students strong, with 33 mid-year enrollees. Of those already on campus, 27 of them are transfers and 6 are high school signees. Class covers all positions on the field, and the new Bears are from 13 different states. Arkansas has the most with 12. Let's hear from Coach Nathan Brown about the new recruiting class.
How's everybody doing? Good. Everybody good? Yeah. All right. So when Jeremy asked me to come up and talk, obviously don't have a game prepared for and or one to recap, but some of you had the opportunity a couple weeks ago to come to sign-in day event held at Buffalo Alumni Hall. Appreciate Buffalo for hosting that. What a great venue that is. I told them when we were there the other day, I wish it was double the size because that setup is remarkable. So excited to announce, as Jeremy said, 27 transfers, along with 6 early high school enrollees, along with a good number of high school kids that will enroll this summer. I think if you'd have told me 5 or 6 years ago that you would sign a class of 42 student athletes, I'd probably laughed and probably spit out my drink if I was drinking it. It's just, you would have never thought that. A big class in 2021 or 22 was 25 kids. But the world we're in now, with the landscape that we're in, with the availability of the transfer portal, and some of the direction that college athletics is going, it's becoming more and more normal. So I want to give, first of all, I want to give a lot of credit to our coaching staff. There's a lot of time and energy spent on recruiting a class that size, but two, getting to know the young men and their families in a short amount of time. I said this stat at the signing day event, but if you sign 42 guys, we did the math. You had to legitimately recruit about 175 kids. And when I say legitimately recruit, that's not just an email or a text or a direct message. It was like, hey, we're going to actively recruit you. So to narrow it down to 42 guys at obviously across the board position wise, you have to give a ton of credit to a phenomenal coaching staff that spent a lot of time and energy and effort on the class. And I said this, basically from December, 1st of December, really Thanksgiving break. Fast forward to the first Wednesday of February, there was a lot of nights that our coaching staff probably weren't leaving the stadium until 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And that's just part of the business. That's just part of what you have to do to recruit in this world we're in. But also, you want to recruit the right young man. And so to recruit the right young man, you have to get to know him basically in an hours. We're talking hours time. I told this story. We would have official visits during the transfer portal period where we would be flying a kid in or flying a kid out, and they would be going directly to Austin Peay, or they'd be going directly to us from Eastern Kentucky, or whatever that may look like. And so it's a different world. The days of you sitting there and recruiting a kid his junior year, going into his senior year, and getting to know his family, what he likes, his personality, his hobbies, it's just getting less and less. So you've got to have a plan in place. When we looked at our transfer criteria that we were looking for, there was a couple of things that we wanted to look for. We want to look for instant impact, obviously, instant impact guys that have had success at prior schools, whether that's at the junior college level, whether that's at the Division II level, or that might be in some cases at the FBS level, the Power 4 or Group of 5 level. Let's take that a step further. Do they have the measurables, right? Do they meet the criteria at that certain position, height and weight wise? If you're taking a transfer, you want them to be developed. That a lot of these guys, you have them for a year, maybe 2 years. You want them to be more in a developed state of their progression as far as being a football player than maybe you would an 18-year-old high school kid. And so that was a part of it. And then really the third thing that made the most sense was fit. Do they fit our scheme? Whether that's offense, defense, or special teams. And I tell this story. It's the world we're in, and it's just the reality we're in. As of December 4th of 2025, we had no scholarship quarterbacks on the roster. And that was, some of that was due to active decisions on that particular quarterback's decision making as far as transferring, or maybe a decision making process that us as coaches encouraged. And so, you look at the most important position in football. We had to basically revamp that room, and so we were fortunate now to have 4 scholarship guys on campus. One of them is an early enrollee high school kid in Maddox Berry from Moulton High School, and then we brought in 3 transfers. And so, that's just talking about the quarterback position, but that's the reality we are in, right? And so we've got these young men on campus. They've been on campus for close to a month now. And getting them to campus is easier said than done as well. And I mentioned this at the signing day event. Could not have been done. The NCAA calendar, as much as they probably want to claim it is not a direct parallel to the academic calendar. And so for us, the middle of our transfer portal, our 15-day window, we started class in the middle of that window. And so we had a lot of young men that we had to get 3 or 4 months worth of criteria and information and transcripts and applications and all those things done within really a week's time. And so I have to give a lot of credit, one, to Justin Witcher, our director of football operations. He did a great job for us in organization, which then we passed it on to Scott Brzee and his team with our athletic academic advising. The amount of transcript evals he did and his team did in a short amount of time is nothing short of amazing, and we appreciate that. And then let's take it a step further to the university level. Our registrar and our admissions department, wow. The amount of time, energy, and effort that they put in after hours, on the weekends, to make this work was impeccable. And so we're very appreciative to all departments involved. I mean, look, everybody sees the product on Saturdays for us as far as football goes, but a lot goes into getting a team together. Coach Shulman, it would be nice. Where you at? Peek at me. Would you enjoy recruiting 42 signees? That's ridiculous, isn't it? How many of you got to sign a year?
I'll let you know here in a couple weeks.
All right. Hopefully one or two. Hopefully one or two. It's just a different world. I mean, you're talking about 42 full scholarship kids, and across the board as far as positions go. It's definitely a grind. But look, from what I can tell. In the short amount of time of them being in our off-season program, we're in the winter phase of our program. Kind of the conditioning and strength and conditioning phase of our winter semester, or spring semester, I should say. I've been very impressed with the young men we brought in. I could go down the list. It would take an hour of the guys that have made an impact, and you feel like they're going to make a statement in the 2026 football season. I do feel like in the short term that I've known them, we've improved. I mentioned this the other day. The university's commitment to giving back as far as revenue sharing is massive for our program. I know it's massive for our athletic department, but you can see the caliber of athlete change when you have some financial backing that allows us to recruit a different caliber athlete as we move forward. So it's exciting. But if you look across the board, you're sitting there going, well, man, Coach Brown, man, what's the state of the program? Y'all signed 42 kids. I used to take it very personally, like when you'd have to sign a big signing class, not necessarily because seniors graduated, but that meant you weren't retaining your players very well. Well, then you look across the board at, probably the team of our conference the last couple of years has been Tarleton State. They signed 63 kids on signing day. So they're 20 more kids than we even are. So it's just the cold, harsh reality that we're in. So we're going to coach the heck out of the kids we've got. We're going to enjoy them while we have them. We're not going to neglect high school athletes. We're still going to recruit that as well. I still believe at UCA it's important to bring young men in and develop them. And you may develop them and them have a great year and they leave you, but enjoy them while they're here. And that's just my stance as I've evolved as a coach and my philosophy has changed. I don't take it as personal as I used to. It is what it is. And so the transfer portal gives and it takes at the same time. And so it's how you take advantage of it and you utilize it to hopefully make your program better. We've got a challenging football season, ahead of us. And look, here's some dates to remember. March 2nd, we start spring ball. So 2 weeks from today, we will be on the stripes at 3:30. We will try to get 9 practices in before spring break, and we will get 6 post-spring break. That's some dates to remember. We'll cap that off April 11th at 1 p.m. for the spring game. That's always a good time. We usually have a good crowd. Typically pretty good weather by that point, so it'll be a good opportunity to see a lot of new numbers, a lot of new names. You don't really see their faces, but you can get to know their numbers and the positions that they play. You can visually see the length and size differential. You go play teams like Tarleton, you go play teams like North Dakota State, you go play teams like Abilene Christian, what they've turned into. You can see what FCS football at the top looks like. I feel like we're close to that. We put an emphasis on size and length and some of those things, especially at certain positions. And you'll be able to visually see that as a fan and as a supporter when you come out and check us out. So a bunch of great kids. I encourage you to get to know them. I can't tell you enough, and that's for all sports. The more you get to know our student athletes, I think the more you are enticed to, one, come support them, but two, understand if you are a giver or a supporter, what it means to them. It's a big deal. We've got some great young men that are going to represent the purple and gray very well and at a high caliber. So again, important dates there, but also looking forward to 2026. Again, it's crazy to say this. Super Bowl just ended a couple weeks ago, but I mean, I tell you, you take football out of people's lives for a couple weeks, they start getting that itch. So we'll start scratching that itch here in about 2 weeks with some practice time, and it'll be a good time. Y'all enjoy our spring sports and our spring semester sports as they're kicking off. I mean, it's obviously the success that our basketball programs are having is fun to watch, and Josie, what he's doing with our track team, I mean, that's pretty amazing, and looking forward to beach volleyball and softball and baseball and all the above. So keep supporting those young men and women. And we'll get to the summer. We'll get ready for football season, and obviously a challenging schedule. One game I want to note that we're excited about. Our administration, Matt and his team, did a great job. These games aren't easy to come by anymore. But looking forward to the trip to Tallahassee next year at Florida State. There's going to be more to come on that as far as alumni goes, and some different opportunities if you can make that trip. What a great opportunity to go against former teammate of mine, a UCA alum, and Mike Norvell. Obviously, to me, one of the best coaches in the country. I know he's fell on some tough times the last year and a half. But the guy had him 13-0 and then should have been in the national playoffs 2 years ago, and he does a great job at Florida State. So still to this day, a guy that I can pick up the phone and we text all the time. Looking forward to be able to compete at the highest level against someone that scored a lot of touchdowns out here pre-stripes at Estes Stadium. So that'll be fun opportunity. Question that I'm sure could come up: North Dakota State. They made the decision to go FBS. Matt can probably answer that question better than I can. But look, as of right now, I have heard nothing else. But I know that they've got some scheduling things happening with the Mountain West, which is the conference that they're going in. I'm sure that'll dictate a lot of what their non-conference schedule looks like. So I don't know where that game's at. Obviously, we will try to fill that. If for some reason that game doesn't happen, we will make it work and figure it out. Obviously, that would have been a good opportunity to host one of the great programs in the country, regardless of size, level, or whatever it is, here on the Stripes. But if it doesn't happen, we'll put together a good product to be able to either go to or come here and compete against. So looking forward to that opportunity. So with that being said, don't have a lot, obviously, with recap, but I just want to encourage you with those dates, those spring dates and opportunities to get to know our young men. It's going to be a good group. I'm looking forward to coaching them and enjoyed them to this point. Any questions? Yep.
On your quarterback, you had 3 transfers.
Yes, sir.
What classifications are they, and what were they from?
All right, so I don't love that this happened this way, but they're actually all 3 sophomores. That doesn't bode well for necessarily future, but again, I'm worried about 2026, right? We brought in, if I'm just going to go down by commitment, timing of their commitment. First one is Tyler Dudden. He's out of Rancho Cucamonga, California. Tyler played at Saddleback College. They won the Southern State title in the California Junior College League. 6'4", 210-pound athlete, has a really, really good arm. Never saw him throw in person, just saw highlights, but obviously couldn't get to Saddleback during the season and watch him play in person. But been very impressed seeing him throw and do some things in practice to this point. He's got some massive upside, can really run, has a run through a wall mentality, and that's what we need. When I went into this season, the one thing I wanted to see at quarterback is I want a quarterback that wants his nose bloodied after the game. I need a winner. I need somebody that's going to run through a wall, no matter what the situation or scenario is. I feel like we lost that, and Tyler can do that. He proved that, And so the second one that committed was Donovan Amalo, out of Conway. Played at Conway High School. Donovan is the all-time leading passer in Conway High School history. Donovan was the MIAA Freshman of the Year this past season at Central Missouri. Played in the Division II MIAA conference, was the Freshman of the Year, threw for right at 3,000 yards, rushed for another 600 yards, 6'2", 210, 215 pounds. Very good athlete, can run, can make unscripted plays, and that's what we need, right? He's a winner type kid, very good personality, sharp as a tack, very smart. Proved it last year as playing as a as a redshirt freshman at Central Missouri. And then the third commitment out of the transfer portal was Walker White. Walker White transferred from Baylor. He signed with Auburn 2 years ago. Walker's the highest recruited quarterback in the state of Arkansas since Mitch Mustaine at Springdale High School. He was the 39th ranked player in the country coming out of high school at Little Rock Christian. Obviously signed in the SEC with Auburn. Was Auburn's backup quarterback as a true freshman. Was not going to win the starting job and decided to transfer to Baylor. Baylor had a senior quarterback that he backed up, was going to be the next guy. Had a position coach change there, decided to get in the portal. Story about Walker was I recruited him as a sophomore in high school. UCA was his first offer before he really blew up. And so that relationship was big for him and his family. Kept up with him over the last few years, even with him going Power 4. Coached his brother, J.D. White, was a wide receiver for us as well. Why is it important to have – man, Coach, you got a log jam at quarterback. Well, that's a good problem, right? I mean, like, there's worse problems to have than to have talent, a group of talented quarterbacks in that room. You know, I did the math the other day. You know, 5 of the last 7 years, we've gotten to our third quarterback in a football season. You got to have guys. You got to have depth. I've coached as a head coach. I've coached 2 seasons where your starting quarterback started every game of the season. You know, you go back when I was offensive coordinator. 3 out of 4 of those years, you know, we were able to have a starter all 3 years, and then that 4th year we got to our third quarterback that year too. So I mean, it's a tough position. I mean, you're coached as a defensive player to go rip the quarterback's head off, right? I mean, you want that guy down. I mean, that guy's got to be durable. So you need to have depth, and so to be able to sign 3 quality transfers along with a talented freshman and Maddox Berry, it's a big deal. And so we feel really comfortable, especially with Maddox enrolling early as a true freshman with our 4 deep. It'll be a heated competition. You know, I've had receivers come up to me several times throughout the semester already and just say, Coach, you got a good problem on your hands. It's going to be a problem, but it's a good problem because we've got some talented guys in that room. So I'm looking forward to that. Dr. Bradley?
Strength and conditioning. You've got a lot of guys that are out now. How are you getting them all in and out? Because you have limited space.
Yep.
And you have a limit. You only have so many strength and conditioning coaches. Do you do them by position or what? How do you get them all in and out?
That's a great question, and you're right. I mean, when you've got a roster of close to 100 kids, even in the spring semester, it's about being efficient, right? And effective, and with the amount of time and space that you do have. So we go 3 groups during the afternoon. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, we will have what I call a skill group. In other words, that's your skill guys, that's your wide receivers, DBs, you know, that type body, kind of your more athletic body types. They'll lift with a group. Then I have what I call big skill. That would be like your linebackers, tight ends, quarterbacks, running backs. They'll lift in the middle group, and then my last group of the day is always the bigs. So the O-line, D-line, you know, those bigger body type guys. So we get about an hour and 10 minutes in those 4 days of lifting. Coach Thibodeaux, I can't compliment him enough. Him and his staff do a great job for all of our programs. But he's very intentional. He's available. I think that's important. Look, when I was playing, we didn't think twice about stretching. We didn't think twice about band work. We didn't worry about any injury prevention. We just went under there, got under the bar, and lifted weights. I mean, what you see us do now, it's innovative. It's effective. There's a lot of things being done in that program that allow us to stay on the field, that can sustain a 12-plus game season of physical play, because football is a physical sport. So, yeah, I mean, we try to be as efficient as we possibly can. We've been going the last 3 weeks of what I call Purple Dawn, which is mat drills. It's elbows, buttholes. I mean, we get after them as coaches. We run stations. I mean, we get after our team, and that's when our whole team is together leading up to spring ball. We go at 6 a.m. in the morning in the indoor, and that's we get about 45 minutes to an hour of just really condition transition work, functional movements, condition them at the same time, right? We get them in shape going into the 15 practices we get in spring ball. And again, historically speaking, Coach Thibodeaux does a phenomenal job of, one, getting football players bigger and stronger like you have to be, but also maintaining your speed or gaining your speed as you're gaining weight. I think that's the tough part is as you gain weight. If we need an offensive lineman to get from 290 to 305, I don't want him to lose his quick twitch. I want him to still be fast. I still want him to be quick. I still want him to be able to move and have light feet. But you have to do that by gaining 15 pounds, right? He does a good job of that. He spends a lot of extra time on the weekends with voluntary work, with whether that's yoga sessions, stretching sessions, neck work, all those things. Again, we didn't think about that 20 years ago. We just got in there, worked out, and got out. The amount of time and efforts and energy spent in the weight room and in that indoor on a weekly basis, it's pretty phenomenal to see. And we've got a motivated bunch. We've got a lot of competition, and there's not time to sit there and watch your partner work. You better work or you're going to be left behind. And that's one advantage to bringing a lot of new names and faces into the program is there is a lot of healthy competition going on, and it starts in that weight room. Everybody good? Go Bears.
All right, men's basketball. They've been a little bit busy, 5 games in the last 11 days. Bears are on a 10-game winning streak, adding 3 more wins this past week, beating UNA on the road before beating Bellarmine on Wednesday and then West Georgia this past Saturday. Bears are now 17-10 overall this season and 12-2 in the ASUN games, putting them in second place, 2 games ahead of third and 1 game behind first place. This week, the Bears will travel to Florida, play Stetson on Thursday at 7 p.m., and then Florida Gulf Coast on Saturday. That tip-off is at 1 p.m. Let's hear from head coach John Shulman.
You better stay, I'll move. I would love to stand up here and say what Tony said, that we're getting a lot better and that we had a great meeting this morning. Results lie. Process tells the truth. Results lie. We gave up 62 points to West Georgia for our 10th straight win, and we were horrendous defensively. Results lie. And we have mature kids. We got winners. We got great kids. But you have to be mature to go through what we're going through right now. Because all you got to do is get on social media, and now we're the coolest people in the world. We're not the coolest people in the world. We are playing our tail ends off. 5 games in 11 days is ridiculous. We played 5 games in December, and we played 5 games in 11 days. Now, the one Saturday that we were off, Matt, that was good. We were off. Everybody else was playing. But then you got to replay that game, and it's tough. It's hard. So 5 games in 11 days, you don't get better. I'll tell you why you don't get better, because you don't ever practice. And you can't spend time focusing on the last game because you got to focus on the next game. So things slip. And so that's all we talked about this morning. Here's what slipped. High hands on a catch. Jump to the ball defensively. A great closeout. Things have slipped, but thank goodness that they have slipped while we've been winning games. Now we've got to clean up some stuff. Or we're going to get a right hook in the jaw. So now you've got to be mature enough and have a team mature enough to be able to handle that and say, why is coach on my tail end? We've won 10 in a row. Well, that's why we've won 10 in a row. All right, so listen, Bellarmine, we're down 8 in the second half. UNA, we're down 4 with like 4 minutes to play the game. So all of a sudden, like, you look back on it and say, like, Austin Peay's making it look really easy. We're not making it look as easy, but we're hanging in there. So 12-2, I can't even believe I'm saying that, just to be honest. We're 12-2 in the league, 17-10. Like, what brings me the most joy is that after the games, people are happy. Like, fans are happy. The community's happy. Proud. Y'all were proud to be UCA alums and UCA boosters when we won 9 games last year. Y'all were sick people. All right? But like, y'all were proud last year. And we won 9 games. I just see a sense of like people excited and proud, and that makes me really happy. That's why we came out here to try to do something that hadn't been done. Now, we haven't done anything that hadn't been done. We're in 2nd place. We're chasing Austin Peay. Everybody's like, hey man, that game against Austin. Listen, we played Stetson on Thursday, which will be we barely got beat with Stetson. We were down 31-5 last year at Stetson. Hard place to play. Anytime you go on the road, it's hard. So we got Stetson on Thursday and a really talented Florida Gulf Coast team. You know what? Our guys do understand this. We were the hunter, and now we're the hunted, and that changes. Like we're like a big game for Stetson on Thursday. Before we could kind of sneak in and sneak out. We're not sneaking in and sneaking out now. It's a big game for them because they're playing the 2nd place team in the league. And so we got to be more ready to play, and I think we will. Guys took the meeting really good today, and I think we're ready to roll for tomorrow. Travel's hard. Travel's hard. Like, we leave at 10:25. Our flight's at 10:25 on Wednesday, and we get to Orlando at 5:18. So that means we get to the land at 6, probably about 7 o'clock. So when do you practice? So you practice before you leave, or you practice at 7 a.m. And then you practice for an hour, and then guys go. It's hard. That's why winning on the road is so flippin' special. If you win on the road, you got tough kids. And we got tough kids that don't blink. We didn't get to Queens and Charlotte till midnight the night before we played because of the ice and everything. We didn't blink. But when you got Cam Hunter, you don't blink a lot. Because if you blink, he'll kill you. And so our guys don't blink a whole lot. But I was really proud of Ty and Luke step up because Cam didn't have his best game on Saturday. But like I said, fatigue takes a toll out of us. And we finally had, what y'all don't understand is like Sunday, a day off on Sunday is so important. You can take a day off on Tuesday, still got to go to class. Or Thursday, you still got to go to class. Like Sunday, yesterday was really important for our basketball team to take a day off. The previous Sunday, we were in Florence, Alabama, so we didn't get a chance to take a day off. So we've got to get better. It'd be great to sit here and be cool guys, and once you relax, and once you rest, and once you think you're good, you'll get knocked off that pedestal. And we don't want to get knocked off. And so we got a huge road swing, like I said, this week. And then we come back and we play Austin Peay at Austin Peay. They don't have to come to Conway. I really feel like we could beat the Bulls in here. Like we got something special going on in here. But we don't play them in here. But we got Queens to end up, and they're really good. I'm a little different than Tony. I don't like the tournament format. We went down, Cam and Cole and I went down, and Jeremy, for the media deal down in Jacksonville. And I said point blank, we got to be in the top 4. We got to be in the top 4. Got to be in the top 4. You got to get that bye. Well, if you get the bye, you're already in the quarters. And we're 120 minutes away from going to the NCAA tournament. That's the plan. The first round games for the men are on Wednesday, so you get all the jitters out. Like, you got to protect the top 4. You really got to protect, just be honest, the top team. If you're in this type of league. And now they're letting the 5 through 12 play on Wednesday. They get the jitters out, and then they got a day of rest to get ready to play the 4 teams that are waiting on them. So that's not great for the teams with the bye, all right, because you got a day of rest. Now, I don't think you can go win on Wednesday, win on Friday, win on Saturday, win on Sunday. That gets a little much. But we're already down to 3 games. All right, we got the bye. So we don't know who we play, when we play, why we play, who we play. But I know that we'll play on that Friday, and we're 120 minutes away from going to the NCAA tournament. And that's the plan. And tournament play, Max brought up a good point in film. Tournament play, can't turn the ball over in tournament play. Let's start playing tournament play now. So no layups, no free throws, no second shots. That's tournament play. People are fatigued, people are tired, and people get tight. So let them get tight. Let them sit out there and chuck threes all game long. We can score the ball inside, except Saturday when we were fatigued and they blocked every shot that we had. But we can't score that ball inside. So we're going to start tournament play this Thursday. So to get ready. I was just on radio and Avery asked, do you want to win a regular season or have an edge? Yeah, I want to win a regular season. And then I want to have an edge. We can keep an edge. I live with an edge. I have issues. Probably erase that on video. All right? But you better, if you're going to be in this business long enough and do this, you better have an edge to you. And you better be a little off, Tyner. You're off. I mean, all you got to do is look at you. You're definitely off.
I didn't know you was talking mentally.
You better be a little mentally off too. You better have an edge doing this thing. We're all tired. Every team that started is tired. We've all been doing this since June. Who can stay happy and hugging? And right now we're happy and hugging. Thank goodness for yesterday, and thank goodness we don't play a Wednesday, Saturday game this week. I'm glad that we play a Thursday, Saturday game this week. But we're excited. We're appreciative of what we've had in the Ferris Center. That's been, I mean, I watched the Stetson game. We played Stetson in here like forever ago, January the 3rd. Then I watched the game and I was like, there's nobody in the stands. Because you watch this game and there's like a lot of people in the stands. So we really appreciate the support. Jonathan, Watson's here. All they do is build $3 million homes and try to sell them. But Jonathan, like your crew, you have 48 people in your family showing up for the games. Probably the best athlete that ever played football here at UCA. I would say Jonathan Watson, 1. Nathan, you're probably 2. David Walker, 3. And T-Bird. But T-Bird, I put him as 1 or he'll beat me up. All right? So he's now 1. You're now 2. All right? But just appreciate, like, bringing your family out. Because that's what it's all about. And then your kids enjoy it. And then they bring their family out. And it's a really cool environment. Cool atmosphere. Do I have any questions before I sit down and shut up? Yes, sir.
Coach, I've been around basketball all my life, but I gotta tell you the compliment.
Don't do it. It's rat poison. I'm not listening. Go ahead.
I've never seen a defense like that. I mean, it's a very aggressive defense. It pays off. The kids get wore down, but you got 5 more stick in there.
Well,
I mean, I just love to watch you.
Listen, and Max said, my oldest son said it right. Dad, you see things no one else sees, which is sometimes good and sometimes bad. I don't see the game as some other people see. Everybody's scared to death to trap. So when you trap somebody, remember this, when you trap somebody, you only have 3 defenders and they have 4 other players. That's a risk I'm willing to take as long as the trap is where we want the trap to be. And so, and also we don't trap all game long. We'll trap you here, we'll trap you there. I want to play against somebody that plays us man. Play us man, well, play us zone, we're fine. Don't mix and match. But very few teams can handle that. Like we're changing defenses on the fly. And when Cam gets tired, he lets me know what type of defense that he wants to play. All right, and so I listen to Cam. But I appreciate that. We're unique, but when I interviewed 2 years ago, we want to be a change-up in a fastball league. So it's really hard to guard us. Max is doing an amazing job with our offense. I like ridiculous. But it's also really hard to get locked in against us. If somebody scores 3 times in a row, we're changing our defense, period. And then I get a text from Nathan Brown saying, if you don't trap the entire game, I'm not coming to any more games. All right? Any other questions? Comments? Tyler, you got anything? Little Bobby Kremlin, yes. Dr. Fiddler.
Two games ago, I made the comment to somebody who's been sitting with me for years watching the game. I said, when was the last time you saw a crowd like this? Their remark was last century. And so,
well,
and that's the truth.
Well, listen, it takes a village. I mean, Christian, what you've done in marketing and that stupid video of me on prevailing grounds, I was really pumped up about that. Let me just say that. But it takes a village. It takes Brock Winters making sure these Arkansas kids want to stay in Arkansas. I didn't know these Arkansas kids. I didn't know these coaches. It takes a village. It takes Ron Montgomery showing up every morning because Luke Moore wants to get his stroke right. It takes a village. It ain't me. Like, it's our kids. It takes everybody. It takes Garrett keeping the bats out, you know, of when we're trying to play a game. It takes a village, and we have a village, and I appreciate that village. Anything else? Cody, I didn't say your name, but I'm not going to. All right, go ahead.
I come out of a Johnny Woodson, Indiana, heritage where at this time of the year, it's mainly fundamentals.
Yep.
Is that basically where you're coming from? Because we were always taught that at this point, it's fundamentals to win games.
Well, that's why, you know, I got something written on my desk. It's a note. Don't ever have to go back to the basics because you never left the basics. But the problem, and we don't leave the basics, but the problem is 5 games in 11 days, you don't have a great chance. You got to keep guys fresh. So we're going back to the basics in the morning. Not that we left, but we had to leave them for a second. But absolutely. If you can stay true to who you are, stay with the basics, and hit singles offensively, and not do anything stupid defensively, and stay down and not foul and box out, those are the basics. That's what wins during tournament time. It's not flashy stuff wins the tournament time. Can you outlast your opponent? Because everybody's fatigued, and everybody's nervous, and everybody's tight, and everybody knows it's one and done. That's a lot to put on a 19, 20-year-old kid. All right? And so we just try to outlast everybody. And also, you better stay happy and huggy. A team that gets along late February is a team that's got a chance. And that's why we needed a break, because we've been together 11 straight days. I'm the youngest of 7 kids. You put us together in a room for one day, it's hard. Not everybody can get along. And so that's why we needed a day off yesterday. We were really good today. Film, we'll be good tomorrow, and then we'll figure out Wednesday, and we'll go battle. The other last thing I want to say, I've said this in the second half at a timeout. Because it gets hard, but it's supposed to be hard. Like winning is hard. It's not supposed to be easy. It's hard. It's difficult. But it's worth it. Y'all be good.
How is everybody? I hope everybody had a happy Valentine's Day. It was a good weekend to be a Bear or Sugar Bear fan, so appreciate everybody coming out over the weekend and supporting our sports that we're here at home, and looking forward to some more home events this week. So I'm going to address a couple things. Coach Brown, I appreciate you bringing up the North Dakota State game. I'm going to address that in just a minute. Just also a couple other housekeeping notes. Just a reminder, our SAC pancake breakfast is March the 1st at Stobie, so we still have some tickets for sale if you haven't gotten those. If you also bought them thinking the date we had when we had the ice storm, just hang on to them. They're going to be valid for March 1st as well, so appreciate your support of that event. Also wanted to mention, upcoming in March 12th, that is UCA's Day of Giving. I can't remember how many days we've been doing this now, but I know that several folks in this room make their gifts to support UCA athletics, whether that be through the Purple Circle, supporting our championship resource funds, supporting other sports operational accounts. Just appreciate your support that day as we prepare for Day of Giving again this year. It's always an important day on our campus. So March 12th is when that will be, Thursday, March 12th. Another thing I wanted to mention, ASUN tournament tickets. So you've probably seen the last couple home basketball games. We've advertised tickets on the video board. So we have some tickets for sale through our ticket office. Branson Dixon can help you with that. You have an all-tournament pass, also single day passes and whatnot. Feel free to contact our ticket office, 501-852-2234, and we'll help you there. You can also purchase those through the ASUN website. So those are for sale now. If you're planning to make that trip, would love to see you down there supporting the Bears and Sugar Bears. We don't know, as Coach Shulman and Coach Kemper mentioned, we don't know where we'll be seated yet. We know we got a top 4 on the men's side and excited about that, but still some things to shake out over the next few weeks. But if you want to go ahead and get your tickets, we have them available here. All right, a couple things. Dr. Fiddler asked me if I could explain stunt to our guests. Well, yeah, I may need some help, so feel free, any of our staff members that can jump in and help me. But so, we're in our third season with stunt. We added stunt. We're in our third season of competition. Excited about that. It's a female sport for us. And to tell you, one of the best ways to explain it is really there are some cheer tendencies, if you will, what you see in competitive cheer. And also think about it in the form of gymnastics, tumbling, acrobatics, those types of things. So kind of a combination of those two sports. And I hope if Chloe watches this, she'll give me an A+, our head coach, on my explanation of this. But so there are 8 routines that all stunt programs in the country get at the beginning of the year. And so all of the stunt programs within the United States, they get the same 8 routines. And so you compete within those same 8 routines. And their strategy, whoever wins the toss, they play 4 quarters. They're judged, and a score is kept based on your performance of those routines. And again, the strategy is that you want to pick a routine that the other team is not very good at, right? So on and so forth. So, and you can decide to not do a routine because of the routine that's picked, so you can give up a point, if you will. But anyway, that's kind of the gist of it. Dr. Fiddler, I hope that's
I've watched it. I just didn't know how the scoring was. I didn't know how anything was. I just knew it was a whole lot harder than
yeah.
most people think.
Yeah, play 4 quarters. What?
Yeah, so basically, so basically you're doing your routine side by side with the other team, and the judges have on video what a perfect routine looks like. And then they judge the 2 teams on how well they were, how close they were to that perfect routine. And then they give points, and whoever gets the most points of the 2 wins.
Winner. That's right. Yeah.
Points at the same time.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and get points at the same time. So we hosted our first stunt showcase on our campus last spring. We hosted it in the Hyper Center, and it was great. Incredible crowd. Very thankful to the folks at the Hyper for helping us out. It was also the first weekend of the ASUN basketball tournament when we used to be on campus at home site. So anyway, it was great. Unfortunately, we're not able to host an event this year just the way the dates worked out with the stunt calendar. But I know Coach Moxley is looking to do that in the future again. So if you have a chance and we have one of those home events to come out and watch them, it's certainly enlightening. I learned a lot last year, Dr. Fiddler. All right, football schedule. Many of you have seen over the last 7 days or so a couple FCS schools that have announced that they're moving to FBS. North Dakota State was last Sunday or Monday, I can't recall. The days are all running together right now. North Dakota State announced that they are moving to the Mountain West in football, and all of their other sports remain in the Summit League. And so then over the weekend, it was reported that Sacramento State is moving to the MAC in football, and I believe Big West in all other sports. So, so we have North Dakota State on our football schedule for 2026 right now. Do we know what's going to happen yet? We don't. We're working through that. Do I have a lot of confidence that we're going to play that game here? I don't right now. I'm just going to be real honest with you. But if you think about it, those 2 programs making that decision, of course, they're doing what's best for their institution, what they believe is the right thing to do. It's throwing a lot of a big kink in 2026 football scheduling. So we don't have final answers at this point. Do I anticipate our 2026 football schedule changing some? I do, as we work forward. And, one of the things I probably, as I was sitting back there, I bet I got 10 text messages just about football scheduling as I was sitting in here in Barebackers today. So a lot of moving parts, but sure, those 2 schools moving to the FBS is put a kink in some of the football scheduling, and we'll definitely put information out there as soon as we have it. I expect that we will have some changes in our 2026 schedule. So that's again, there's just nothing solidified right now, but we are working through all of that as we go forward. So as soon as we have any information, we'll be sure to share it. So, what about any other questions for me, Dr. Bradley?
Those schools moving, are they ineligible then to participate in the tournament?
In the FCS?
Yeah.
Well, they're moving FBS for 2026, so they're jumping right in. I know that. I believe I've read where North Dakota State is.
So they won't be competing for the championship.
That's right. They will not be competing in FCS football in 2026. Gene.
Do we have a good buyout contract on the game?
We do, yeah. I have spoken to legal counsel quite a bit over the last few weeks, and I'll say this: I think we are very protected in that contract. I think it's clean and in our favor. So, but you know, there's a lot of. You'd be amazed as you go through the football scheduling just how connected all of the programs are. So, but I feel very confident in what's in that contract and what's there, and it's in UCA's favor. Bobby.
Did we do them a favor by allowing them to play one game against us one year because of their quarterback?
Well, we did. We did do them a favor, yeah. So many of you, this North Dakota State agreement was signed during COVID, so it was what we call a 2-for-1. So we played in 2020 up there during the COVID season. The only game that they played, they had Trey Lance was their quarterback at that time. And anyway, we ended up playing Coach Brown. I believe we played 9 games that year during the COVID season, and so that was one of 9 for us. We went back up there in 2023, 2-for-1 meeting. We're going to go there twice. They're coming here once. The once would be what is on the 2026 schedule. So, yeah, Bobby, I think we did them a favor, no doubt. And you know, they're good folks up there, good to work with. This is just part of the business. We've just got to work through it. So.
Why do you, if you're changing conference, why do you have to shutter your schedule? I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying, why do you have to shutter your non-conference schedule? Why don't you just go on with it? Seems like it'd be easy.
Well, there a couple things. One, you know, they're going to have. Mountain West is at 10 teams now, so they're going to have a 9-game conference schedule. Coach Brown, Missouri Valley, how many teams are they at? They have an 8-game conference schedule, I believe. I think they had an 8, and they're playing 4 other FCS opponents. And so, you know, Eddie, I think there's just a lot of different schools of thought there. You know, they certainly want to play games that position them to be, if they have an opportunity for the college football playoff, position them in a way to maybe take part in that. I think one of the things when you look at this for us is that, you know, historically you don't see many FBS programs travel to an FCS game. They don't travel to an FCS opponent. So in our case, in our game right now, that would be that. It'd be North Dakota State, who's moving to FBS, would now have to travel to Central Arkansas and FCS, and that doesn't happen very often. So there's just a lot of dynamics around scheduling with that. I think that's the easiest way to explain that. David.
Is there anybody in this new conference that we're going to go into? Is anybody moving to FBS?
You know, we don't know. Certainly, I think anybody that reads reports out there have seen probably a couple schools in our league that have been at least mentioned. But the thing is, you have to have an invitation, right? And it's also a steep financial price. So, do we know of anybody right now that is planning that, David? We don't. But I do think over the next 3 to 5 years, you're going to see a lot more changes and movement in college athletics. And the reality of all this is, this day and age of college athletics right now it's wild. It's chaotic. It is. And these are just parts of what we're dealing with. So will it happen? Don't know. Do we know of anybody right now, David? We don't. But certainly something we monitor all the time. What about anything else? All right. Well, let's have a good week. Go Bears. Go Sugar Bears. Bear Claws up.